This is DTLT Today. I'm Jim Groom.
And I'm Tim Owens.
And we're here today. This is a little different look for us. We're in transition.
I know, and I don't handle changes very well.
And Tim is having some problems with the changes.
Having some issues
here. And this episode may reflect that.
Yeah.
We got the Wall of Fame behind us with the pictures. You might see John Udall, even Alan Levine on that wall, Brian Lamb. We got some classics.
It is.
And speaking of classics, I think we have a classic on DTLT today.
We do. The inventor, the one, the only of DS-106 Radio, Grant Potter. What's up, Grant?
Hey, people. Good to be here.
Good to have you, Grant.
That's a long-time watcher, first-time caller.
Well, you invented this radio station and this TV station in a lot of ways, so in fact, it's just like you're coming home.
Yeah, I just basically plugged stuff in, and everybody else invented it.
Well, speaking of which, you're plugging some new stuff in right now. And, you know, what we've been calling the party line, the PBX exchange, all that.
Yeah.
Can you kind of like run down the latest updates to DS-106 Radio and what that might mean for us?
Okay, so basically this is already up and running. I did some testing on Friday, but there's only one piece left, and the performance works well. So all I need to do now is have it re-encode or stream actually in a familiar format, meaning MP3. Because right now we could all dial into the party line, and it would stream in OGG Vorbis or OGG. How do you pronounce that? OGG.
I assume it's OGG.
Yeah.
OGG, OGG.
OGG.
OGG, okay, yeah. So it streams fine in that, and I've tested it on multiple different devices, and I've through my own testing had it up to 6, 7, and it all streams, and it seems to be working great. So, but the thing is, who listens to OGG formats, right?
So,
I mean, you'd have to basically tell everybody to use VLC or make sure you have your codec installed, which is a pain in the ass. It's the same reason why people don't use, Theora probably,
right,
because of support for it. But yeah, so that's where we're at. All I know, I'm using this software called EasyStream. I just got to get it configured on the IceCast server. And then we're ready. We're streaming an MP3, which I should have sometime tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow. And then I'm going to test it, make sure it streams in MP3, and then we're gold. We're party line.
So let me ask you this, Tim. I'm going to jump in here. For someone who doesn't know any of the technicalities, what exactly is this, and how does it change DS-106 Radio right now? You can go in from your computer. You can broadcast from your cell phone. You can even do auto DJ, which runs automatically from the server. How is this different?
Okay, so right now, let's say let's use Scott Lowe as an example. So Scott Lowe plays some music, and he wants to have people call in. He has to put on Twitter or over the airways say, "Give me a call on Skype." Look for ID Scott Lowe Radio. He has to add them as a contact. Then he has to drag them into some sort of conference and then patch them through to the radio, right?
Yeah.
So with the PBX, when he connects to DS-106 Radio, he plays his music through any kind of VoIP-enabled app, and there's lots of free ones. We'll get some blog posts, and everybody will find their favorite, one they like to use. So basically, you play your music through your VoIP app instead of Nicecast, and if somebody wants to talk to you, they just simply open up if they have their mobile phone or whatever it is, and their app configured, to simply just putting in a URL in the app and dial real quick setup, 3 lines of setup, very similar to the way you set up Papaya, and you just dial 106 and boom, you're in, and then you start hearing the music that Scott Lowe's playing in the background, and you can start talking. So you don't necessarily have to ask to be put on somebody's show. You can just appear on somebody's show. I think that's going to lead to some sort of madness.
So
some sort of like DJ competitions. And more than that, more than just sort of talk radio and how it facilitates that, you could have you could co-DJ. So I'm going to play 2 songs, and then when I hear your second song fading out, I can bring in my 2 songs. And then somebody else could come along, and you go to 2 and 2 or whatever. It's because everybody can play music through their VoIP app. One thing I haven't have done yet, though, is look at ways you can play music through your mobile VoIP app, because of all mobile devices are different with their abilities to multitask.
So let me ask you.
But from your desktop or laptop, it's all good.
Let me ask you this, Grant. How do you, if Scott Lowe's playing from Japan and he doesn't have a VoIP-enabled thing, he's doing it through Nicecast or Latiocast or whatever, so does that mean we can't break in?
That means yes. So what you could configure it so that it would break in, but I don't think that's cool, and it's not in keeping with the protocol that's been established. Is that if somebody has a feed, and they're using Nicecast, they're just going to have to wait until it's gone, and then they'll cut in with their VoIP. But like keeping in mind, if they cut in with their VoIP application to play music, at any point somebody could dive bomb in and start talking over the top of their music, or start talking with you, or start up this conversation. And the added experiment, like once I get this sorted this week, hopefully maybe even in Vancouver this weekend, I can get some stickers made of this 1-888 number, and then I'll in a sticker, a community, and get people just to call in and see what the hell happens.
So that was what I was going to ask you, because it's running on an asterisk box, so that's voice over IP, which you mentioned that you need to have an application, but you're saying that there's also going to be an 888 number. Right. Yeah.
What you'll have to do in a asterisk VoIP server, you can create these things called trunks, and in these trunks you can attach external numbers. So on a toll-free number. But I figured out a way that you can get a toll-free number to work, and you basically charge it up with a certain amount of money, and the number when that money's gone, the 1-888 number will just return saying, sorry, this number is not in service, or give you some sort of a message, right? So you can't be taken to the bank on these 1-888 numbers.
So let me ask you this: that 1-888 number will work from like Canada, U.S., Mexico, or all over
continental North America. Yeah.
Now here's the other thing. So if you do that and you have that 1-800 number, we're going to make up stickers, and you're saying put them up around there. We could put them up wherever people are in the continental U.S.
Wherever, yeah. So like I see that as sort of like a artistic provocation in experimenting with, radio is very much a public space.
Yeah.
And the idea even of access to radio, through those means, like through public payphones, for example, is diminishing. I mean, how many public payphones have you seen in the last year in your towns?
Like
none. You need to. It's rapidly diminishing. So I'd like to whatever remains of the public phone, I'd like to see how that might work with open web radio.
Well, and Julia brings up a good point. This is one of the reasons that we're planning to have this massive telethon on Monday, and I'm not sure if you've caught some of the Twitter talk about it, but basically, we're going to have a lot of these people here for the Bava Stock 2011, the massive thing. Gina's going to be down here. Cog Dog's going to be down here.
Yep.
A few others. And so we're going to have a ton of people down here, and it's a chance for us to basically come in here in the office and start broadcasting to the radio and accepting donations for this, because you've basically been doing this out of your pocket, Grant.
Yeah.
And as much as we appreciate that, a lot of us really want to see this thing go big and do a lot more with it, and we certainly don't want it to be on your dime. So that's going to happen on Monday all through the day, and we're going to do it really cheesy, old school style. I think Andy might come in his tux.
Oh, Lord.
We're going to have
like Jerry Lewis.
Exactly.
I'm all over that. Who's going to be Jerry Lewis?
Yeah,
Andy, of course.
we'll have the ringing phones in the background. People doing karaoke in the office. It'll be massive.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's going to be a beautiful
And so we'll
thing.
talk to you about some details of that offline.
Oh, my God, man. That'll be
Yeah,
awesome.
because you have to be a critical part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Yeah, we need a performance.
I might even
from you.
just take the day off work just so I can soak it in.
There you go.
Awesome. Hey, we know you have to get to class, but this is amazing, and I'm so
cool.
glad that it's going to actually kind of converge all around both you guys in Vancouver at the Sanctuary and all of us here in Fredericksburg whooping it up for Babastock. It couldn't happen at a better time.
Well,
Yes, indeed. It's going to be, you got to keep the lines open, listeners, both your video and your radio.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, this will be the official release of the party line.
Well, and what I love is this is almost like version 2.0 of this idea of DS-106 radio.
Absolutely.
And as you know, the TV stuff came in right after the radio back in the spring. And so it was like we had this idea of the radio in the spring, and we had this idea of the TV in the spring with Justin TV. Yeah. Now we have something new we're going to be experimenting with on the radio. And we've got something new coming very soon on the TV.
That's right.
Where basically we're throwing Justin TV out the window and saying that anybody with a web browser, no account or anything, can broadcast to the television.
From anywhere.
So that's going to be the next step for that. And so it's
we're
just
looking
crazy.
for nudies if you have them. Bring on the nudies.
Oh, so, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Grant, you're awesome. Thanks for coming on with us, talking about it, and we're looking forward to this weekend.
Right on. You guys rule. Thanks for having me, and I will talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later, Grant.
Later.
And thanks, y'all, for watching. Keep an eye out for us. This week is going to be crazy. People are coming in Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
By Friday and into the following week, these broadcasts are going to get a lot more crowded.
And end it off with a big telethon. So this is a week, and it's interesting. We're kind of like diasporic this week. We don't have a home. The cuddle couch is in a new room. We're kind of we're getting the kind of kit taken away for us for none other than Carl Rove, who's coming to campus. Isn't that funny? Bush stole our money and Carl Rove stole our camera.
Unbelievable.
But we'll find a way around it, and we don't die. We just multiply.
Yeah. Never forget. We will remember.
All right. So thanks for watching.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
Take care. Thank you.